All right, welcome to Dale Kramer's Custom Cars and Anything. And today we're working on a lawnmower. We're working on my Simplicity Prestige 23 horsepower lawnmower here. And what we're doing is, they're known for the seat pans to fall off and then the tilt steering to go to heck on you. Well, I had to take this apart because I had a hydraulic hose, that I had to take off. It was leaking. I had this thing up for sale. I even had it for sale for $600. It's a garden tractor. It was real cheap, and then people were lowballing me, and I got just blazing sick of it. I'm trying to be the nicest person I possibly can, but man, you want to flip out, but I don't. I say, well, I'll sell you a wheel off it for $50, And he said, no, I want the whole lawnmower. And then I had a lot of people offer me $150 for it, and you know damn well that motor and that transmission, on another video, I rebuilt that transmission years ago. And because that's how I got this thing. The transmission was shot in it. So I rebuilt the hydrostatic transmission. I did that on my own as well. But now, since I got this apart, the steering, the other thing that they're known for is a tilt steering unit is junk in these. And then the steering wheel's loose, and you got to turn it a half a turn to make it go to the left, and you got to turn it a half a turn to make it go to the right. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of that shit. This thing's not going to have tilt when I'm done with it, but it's going to look factory. I hope. I'm winging this, but I understand how it works. So anyway, you'll have to, what I did is I pulled the console off and the steering wheel. The steering wheel's just got a little woodruff key in it and a nut on it. So you pull that nut off, and then you can just screw the nut on just enough to tap on it with a 5-pound hammer. Just let the hammer bounce on it and pull back on the wheel. It pops right off. It's tapered and everything. And you can see it's got a woodruff key here. So anyway, let's see. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, it kind of helps. So it's got a woodruff key here, and then a nut that screws on here. Okay? And then I call it the horn button, although it's not a horn button, but that just snaps right off the thing like a standard horn button does. And so you just snap that off, then the nut is exposed, take the nut off, and then put the nut just on enough so you don't wreck the nut or the threads here, and then just tap on the nut and pull on the wheel, and the wheel pops off. Then there's two torque screws in here. So you got to turn the wheel to, where that is, and then just take the bottom one out, just loosen up the bottom one. Then there's 4 nuts here. There's 1, 2, and then on the opposite side of this, there's on the other side here, there's 2 more. And then you can go to work, and then this thing, jiggle it, and then you should pull it right off like that. Okay? And then you end up with the problem right here. You could see that square there, that's all egg-shaped and shit, I thought about trying to shim this up, but how do you do that, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eventually what we're going to do here, well, let me just set this off to the side for now. But now this piece, this is brass, but there's a bolt that goes through it, and then there's a steering shaft, a steel one that goes all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that bolt out and pull this off. So and then I'm gonna gut this thing out. I'm gonna try to leave it intact, but it's gonna be a solid shaft that runs through. Okay. So what we gotta do is, there's that one there that you gotta loosen up so you can get it off the machine. And then let me zoom back out here. Maybe it'll make it easier on it. There we go. I just hold it up close like this. There we go. And then so we'll get rid of this junk pot metal shit. It's pretty sad that you buy a dependable garden tractor like Simplicities are, but then they don't honor you by when something fails, the part is discontinued like this one. Besides, if this was available, probably be $300-400 probably. Knowing those guys. But what we're going to eventually do is I'm gutting this all out of here, and then I'm gonna put a shaft between here, straight through, keep this all intact, and then take this off. You know, this is just a bolt in there, and make it go on there if I got to make another coupler to slide over that shaft. But let's just, I'll get you guys in close, but let's just set this off to the side for right now. Let's go in here. Let's see if I can push you guys close. I wonder if I can get some light in there. And let's put this thing. What we got to do is there's a bolt. There's a bolt that goes through here. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it now. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Let's see. That's just right. But you can see the bolt goes through there. So let's get that out so that way we got this thing gutted down to maximum. Then we're going to go after that other piece and gut that out. And then we're going to make a. It just won't have tilt. It'll look totally factory. I'll put the sleeve back on it. I'll put the wheel back on and everything. It'll look totally factory. But this is what's going to help you guys out that have. Hopefully it helps you out anyway. Well, I don't know. But let's see. I got to grab some tools here. I can't remember. I should have looked if that was 1/2 inch or. I think that was a 1/2 inch head. Or was it 7/16? Well, let's just get a ratchet wrench out. Let's just do it that way. I get a wrench and a ratchet wrench. It'll probably be easier. Otherwise, I got to turn the wheel again. For some reason, they put that thing crossways. They should have went the other way, so it would be open to the. But they did that, I suppose, because for the opposite end for torque reasons. Let's see. Engineers always have a reason why they do things. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes I wonder why they did that. I think it's 1/2 inch. Let's see once here. So this is to convert your tilt steering crap to get a nice tight steer. You know what I mean? 1/2 inch there. Hex size, that is, not the bolt, not the shank size, but the hex size. And it looks like it's made out of brass. Let's see once here. We'll see in a minute. No, that's actually a spline coupler on there. No, that's not brass. Definitely not brass. Well, it's nice. It's a slimed. It's a spline coupler. I see now in there. Let's see. Need some flashlight on that. Lighting is always horrible. See that? I wonder, can I get that coupler off of there? See, I'm learning as we go. I know I can do this. It's just, if that's steel, I don't know how bad that. Because I was thinking about drilling this hole out and all the way through the shaft to put a tighter bolt in there so it's not so wobbly. See, they made this wobbly, I think, for the tilt. But I'm just worried, what's the bolt look like? Oh yeah, it's gone through some yellowing of the threads because it's getting smashed all the time. Yeah, I wonder how bad is this? That's probably pretty decent yet, huh? Yeah. Okay, so what do we do here now, guys? We actually put this back on, cut this off, then we got something to slide up. Okay, well, I'm going to take some time out here, guys, and engineer something, and then I'll we'll keep going. So I'm gonna just put you guys on pause right now, and then you guys will see it right away. But it's gonna take me a while to figure something out. Okay, so I found this 3/4 inch gas pipe, but I'm gonna get a micrometer out here once and look at what sizes I got here. Let's see. Let's get it. Here, I got this old crappy one. I'll use it with the tape measure. I got to dig out the good one, which I could. Wouldn't be a problem. Maybe this is faster. Maybe it's not. This one won't work. I use it for messes, you know. 7/8 shaft. Okay, so that's 7/8. And if well, there's probably a burr on there. So I just need a 7/8 drill bit. I could drill this out on the drill press, maybe. What size is that? (13/16). Wait a minute. 1/2 inch 3/4. Yeah, 11/16. So it's just got to be drilled out just a little bit. That I could do on the drill press. I wonder if I got a 7/8 bit. Okay, I'm gonna go look now once. Okay, I do have a 7/8 bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna film this. I'm gonna take this. Let's see, I gotta scan out again or something here. I'm gonna take this pipe so it fits on, because that's a 7/8 shaft. You know, this is 7/8 drill bit. So, and well, not this pipe, but this pipe is like a 11/16 or something like that, you know, or well, no, 3/4 maybe. So I need to drill this out. Okay, just that little bit. You can even see it. So I'm going to drill this down a ways. That way this will slip onto that end. Then we got to figure out our length where we got to cut it off, and we got to figure out what we need up on top. We got to gut out that tilt steering unit, and that could be a 7/8 shaft too there. Time we got that out, that could be 7/8. So that would be neat. Then all you got to do is build a coupler, drill 2 holes in it, put this all back together, and we're done, right? Well, let's don't count on that yet. All right, so what I did is I drilled, see that in there? Maybe not. But anyway, I drilled this out to 7/8, and now it fits on there. Okay? Now, the next thing we got to do, pull it off while it's still warm so I don't wreck any seals or anything. Let's wipe our hands off. Boy, that was hard to drill out. The drill bit's good. It's just, my God, the drill set it up for power, but man, there's just not enough there to turn a 7/8 bit. You know, but it's only just a little bit. It's not like I'm drilling a whole complete hole here. So let's take this back to my little workspace here. We'll grab a hold of this and let's gut this out and see what we got going. Yeah. I'm not going to use this anymore. So you could take these out, cut this off, or we could just cut it off with a grinder, I suppose. Yeah. spring loaded. Let's see, I wonder. Maybe we should take that apart just to get that off of there. Yeah, we'll just take it apart and then we'll pull this out. It doesn't look like that connects. There's a shaft there with a spring in it, so like I say, we're winging this, you know. We're trying to figure this out. Okay, so let's get rid of the problem here. They don't want to cover. They should have a mass recall on these steering things. I wonder if it killed anybody. You know what I mean? Another cover up or something of some sort. You never know. You know, we'll never know either because we don't have no Consumer Protection Agency anymore. That got abolished by our current administration. Okay, so that ain't gonna come off there, not like that, huh? Okay. We gotta pull out the other one as well, I suppose. For some reason, that one's a different size. What do we got here? T27 and a T25. That's what sizes they are. What I got anyway. Now that falls apart. You know, why couldn't you just buy this piece? Buy this ball, because this is plastic. So you know this piece is probably good yet in here. And this is all egg-shaped out. See how bananaed out? It's supposed to be rectangular, but it's like a bow tie. So why couldn't you just buy this piece? You know, you can see it's wore out here. Or buy this piece and these two pieces. God, these companies sometimes just tick you off, you know what I mean? Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the same thing what we're just dealt with. So we'll have to measure our distances, and then we'll have to cut that pipe off. You know, there we go. Now they're falling out. Now, piece. There we go. Oh no, wait a minute. We're gonna have to. Yeah, that's got a C-clip on it. Does this side ever C-clip? That's probably just held in there. Maybe it's just got to be tapped out, huh? Let's see if we can just do it with this little ratchet here once. Nope. Oh, great. Just great. Well, let's get a C-clip expander and let's take it off and let's see if we can pound it down. I'm gonna end up welding that on there, ain't I? And that ain't gonna work either. How bad is this one? Oh, this side's in two pieces. Yeah, why couldn't you just buy this right here? Just that. Why? Because then you wouldn't buy a new lawnmower, right? Is that the reason why? Probably, right? Okay, let's see if we can eliminate this. I don't know. Do I have the right size torque for that? I do. So let's pull that apart. Let's get rid of that right away. Then we'll go back to that shaft. Because I want to try to keep this piece. That's what I want to do. I could easily just weld this onto that shaft and call it even, but then it'll look like an old John Deere B. I want to use the cover. I want to use the steering wheel. I want to make it look like it's never been messed with. Okay, we got spring-loaded stuff here. God. So if anything flies out and takes my nose off here, I don't know nothing about this. Okay, so how's that come out of there? You gotta take the other side off too. Oh, okay. Well, let's do that then. We'll just keep going until we figure this thing out. Oh. Gotta be so careful, there's a spring in there. There we go. Okay. And that spring is what I was talking about. No, it's on a pin that needs to be tapped out, huh? There we go. There we go. Won't need that. We won't need that. Probably not hardly any of this stuff, but okay. Now let's just leave this apart for now. Well, maybe we should just put it together. Let's put it together so we don't lose pieces. Okay. Just gotta remember how this goes. Which side was the spring in? It was on this side. Okay, that's where this is. So I'll just throw this together somehow. Line everything back up again. No, I want to keep this all factory looking as much as I can. When you do these conversions, you want it to kind of be nice yet. You know, some people just, who cares, you know? I'm the type of guy that cares what it looks like when I'm done. Then you can say you did a good job, you know? Let's get them started. Yeah, just I'll take out that circlip and then I think we. Oh, there we go. I'm not gonna start that easy on this side anyway. Let's see if we can get it in this hole first then. So I think we got it. Goes on. You want to start them all first before you tighten them up, of course, you know. Well, this is quite a process to try to Come on, frickin' ratchets. Okay, now let's tighten these up. Okay, so we're not going to need these pieces anymore. Not this piece anymore. I do not know about nuts and bolts yet to the shafts. We don't need that no more. This is the battery hold now. This is something else. So we shouldn't need any of this junk no more. Now, why couldn't they make a replacement kit like that? Huh? Anybody answer me? See, this still tips, but when I put a shaft through here, it's not going to tip no more. You know what I mean? I can even take the welder and put a couple of zaps on here too. But I will not do any of that until I know where I'm at. Because that would be just dumb to jump to conclusions. Okay, now we need a... Okay, we need a circlip pliers for that. Okay, there they are, way up on top. Probably won't get them out of there. Let's see. This might be a two-part series before I'm done here, guys. I may have to... let's see now. Which one do I need here? Let's pull one out here. Let's see. This expands it. Oh no, I ain't gonna get it because the circlip is... I have to use a straight one, ain't I? So I can put down pressure on it. Oh, jeepers creepers, I could have made the holes a little bigger. Cripes almighty. What the frickin' clips did they use on that? Clip spanners don't even fit. Well, now let's find a flat blade screwdriver and another screwdriver and this screwdriver and that. And can't even do it right, you know. They could try to do it right. Got the shut door open. Now it's getting hot in here. It gets hot in here, now I get cranky. Okay, now with this thing tilting it. Wowzer. Yeah, it would have been nice. Would have been nice to use the right tools. And yeah, this ain't gonna come off that easy. I need a micro clips. Did it actually come out of there? It did. Sort of. Oh, don't be going back in there. There we go. Go back in. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. No, damn near fall out of there to it. See how it moves? Must only go in one way from the top. Maybe it's machine fit. I'll just keep working it out. And that's where we'll put it on too. Well, I could probably tap it down now, I suppose, huh? Yeah, like that, maybe. Let's keep this in order. We need that stuff yet. Oh, it's even got a little bushing there, even. Yeah, why sure, that only goes on one way. No, now what? Back to the drawing board. Let's get our piece of pipe that we machined out. Should have measured distances before we took everything apart. I grabbed the hottest side, good. I didn't burn myself. Okay, so this has to attach onto there. Well, how do you do that? Well, if you could just weld it there, that'd be nice. But that washer, the weld can't be any higher than that washer right there. That's machined on this thing. Well, maybe just drill a hole through it, huh? Let's just do that. Let's just drill a hole in there. But now we not got no more length here. We gotta cut this off yet. Now we gotta assemble things kind of half-assed, don't we? And then see what our distances are. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the lawnmower. All right. So let's see. I'm grabbing this unit here. I'm gonna slide the shaft back in its place. Something fell off. I heard something take off. Oh, it's probably that wash. It's that bushing. I'm gonna find that. There it is. Got it. So there's actually two bushings in this thing. One on the top. One on the top and one on the bottom. Okay. Now what we gotta do, we gotta set this thing on here. Well, first of all, hang on. We got something else we gotta do first. Got some markings to do on the bottom. How far down this goes. When we set this drilled in that we drilled out, how far does it go down? Okay, so I gotta clean that shaft off so I can mark it. I'm gonna have to clean off my hands too so I don't get it all dirty. Okay, let's do that then. We'll do this thing one step at a time. Hopefully we'll get it. So you gotta have that for support, because the problem is if you don't, then it's all supported on the power steering bushing. And then people lean on this thing, you get on it and stuff, and they pull themselves up. And it's just going to pull on that, and it's going to wreck the power steering unit. So you got to have this piece. I could simply just disregard it, but then the problem is, okay, now we got to clean that off, don't we? We got to clean the shaft. That sounds like a personal problem. Okay. Let's see. I'm not going to spray it on that. I don't want to spray this on that seal. Next thing I'll dry that out, and then that'll start leaking. So I just want to clean the shaft off. Some days I wish I had a lathe or a mill. I could do better work. Do some really nice work if I had that. But I'm so broke I can't pay attention. I'm broke because I'm honest. Not a cheater. I don't cheat anybody out of anything. They always want to cheat me though, So the shaft, when we install it, it's gonna go down to there. There, and I didn't clean that out. Great. Do everything again, I suppose. What I actually should have done is drilled a hole through there and everything, so this thing was like done on the bottom. So you can't mess it up. Okay. Have some sort of marking device here. Maybe the silver pen might work better than a black magic marker. And maybe it won't. Yeah, I don't know if I can get in there. Because it's going to be the full length. The shaft has to be okay. So it goes to there. There's a mark here now. I don't know. Can you see that? Or let me look. Not at all. Well, sort of. I see I unplugged the charger and everything. And hang on. It's always something. Kind of see that. So that pipe has to be from that line to whatever we got here. So now this, we'll set this back in place. You see where the adjustment used to be. It used to be behind it. So we'll put this in here. Okay, make sure this is up all the way. And then we're going to measure that distance. So how do we do that? Well, let's see once. Does this have a stick coming off of it? No, the new one does. Hmm. I suppose I can't use this either. Or could I? Yeah. I can't measure for sure there. Maybe just a simple tape measure will do a better job on it. Maybe I'm overthinking it again. Boy, my back don't like this. Oh, but I gotta find it. I don't know what I set it over here by the drill press. I gotta grab it. I hope to God this tightens up the steering a little bit anyway. God, it was terrible. By looking at those pieces, how egg shaped or whatever, or necktie or whatever you want to call the frickin' thing. I should mark it. Should make this piece and sell it for a kit. Eliminate your bad steering since Simplicity won't sell you the parts. Oh God, this is gonna be difficult. How the hell am I gonna do this? Maybe just tie this. Get there. And get it in there. Wish I had a smaller tape measure. Will it go up in there? Sort of. And you gotta hold it straight. Let's see, 5 3/4. Wait a minute now here. It's straight. We're straight. Right there. 5 5/8. 5 5/8. No, I'd say 5 5/8. That whole shaft has to be cut off at 5 5/8. So what we'll do now, I'm not going to film that. I'm going to cut this pipe off now from this edge, 5 5/8. Okay? Hopefully that's enough. So, alright, so I cut this off. Here's a piece of tape to keep it straight. Looks like she's nice and straight. I'm going to take this to the bench grinder quick and take this burr off of here. Okay. Now let's kind of dummy this all together. This goes down there. Yeah, it could have been maybe. I messed that up. The shaft must have been up all the way. Okay, so I messed that up. Good. I cut it too short, so good. I knew I had to screw it up somewhere. Somewhere I had to screw it up. Now what do we do here? Because that's got to be up all the way. Oh yeah, we're off big time. So I'd say a little more than 6 3/4 actually. Okay. Well, let's use it to our advantage. Yeah, let's see. Get that tape measure out wherever it's laying. Try to measure again what we got to come up with. Because this we can maybe use to our advantage. Off about 1/8 of an inch. 3/16 maybe. Okay, so we need 3/16 spacers in here now. So how do we do that? We gotta go up about. Let's get this off here. We're gonna wreck that right away. Set it right there. That way we'll forget to put it in. So this is 3/16 this way. Hey, I'll just weld it up that way. I can run a bead in there. You know what? That actually probably was a good thing. That's what I'll do. I'll fill a bead in there. I'll put a bead in there. So yeah, you want to make it shorter. Let's see now, how am I going to make that straight parallel with one another? That's the next problem. Well, let me think this out again. Okay, so what I did now is I put this pipe in the vise and I squeezed it into like a D shape, you know? So that way I could, you know, so it would hold it in there straight this way, but now I just got to make sure it's straight that way. Okay? And I can easily do that. And I brought it out that 1/8 of an inch that I had to do. So now I'm going to weld this. I'm not going to film this. I'm going to weld this up here quick in here, you know, trying to keep this washer intact. So I'll just weld that up because this will bolt in down here in the bottom, you know, like if you're looking at this. So you can unbolt that way, and then the steering wheel can come off this way. So yeah, so it should all work. So I'm going to go weld this up quick and I'll be right back. All right, so now I welded it up, so now let's dummy fit it. This whole gear thing faces downward, so we always got to make sure of that. And what I should do is I should actually put the plastic bushing in there too, shouldn't I? Okay. We'll have to make sure we grease that up too before we put it together. But we got a ways to go here yet. Yep. Looks perfect. That'll work out just fine. Okay. Now we got one last thing to do. We got to drill a hole through here. Okay. So now that we know this all fits, now that we know that all fits, let's draw a new line here. Hopefully that did. Okay. Now pull this whole thing out. Okay, set that off to the side. Pull this bushing off here so we don't lose it. like that. Okay. Now we know where the line is. Now, how far up from that line is that? Is the hole, the center of that hole. That's how we determine how far up we gotta go. I gotta get my head in here, guys, so I'm sorry. Okay, one. Yeah. About 9. Let's see. Okay, we're a little above there, so about 9/16 I got. So 9/16 up, it's gotta go. So I gotta drill a hole now on the shaft. 9/16 up from this edge. So I'll mark that out and I'll get it in the drill press. So we're almost there. Conversion's almost done. Then we gotta do the assembly, and I want to paint this piece too. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I got that marked right there, and just gotta go straight through, right in the middle. So let's see. That was a 5/16 hole. So let's do a 5/16 hole. All right. So what I did just now is I took the drill. And took the drill and I drilled through the hole here. Make sure it was perpendicular. And then I run the bolt through. Perfect. That's grade 8 bolts. Okay. I'm gonna put some tape here to prevent the shavings from getting on there, but some did. Now let's dry fit everything. Okay. Make sure the bushing's on this. Make sure everything's kind of where it's supposed to be. Looks like I might be a little high with the holes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put washers underneath these so it doesn't put pressure on that power steering unit. I'll just shim them up. Let's see, 5/16. Right, 4 of them, that'd be beautiful. Let's see how much I get 4 of these shim washers. That'd be the ultimate thing. But I bet you I don't have them. Oh. No, that's too good to be true. Yeah, that was just too good to be true. The crushing this, should I use 2 for a thing, or let's try 4 first. Boy, that's a nice wash. It'd be perfect for that. Get 4 of them, but I don't. I just gotta use lock washers so they don't extend past. That's gonna be hard to figure out with lock washers. I got the holes a little too high, so I gotta. Oh shit. Okay, that one's there. And that tightens down. That's probably going to be about right. Yeah. Okay. So now let's take that off and paint that so it looks right. Things got to be painted down here, you know. They just have to be. And we can start putting some of this together, maybe. There we go. Oh, Neil's here. Girls have arrived. Okay. Okay, let's clean it and paint it. As soon as I find my cleaner, oh, it's sitting on the mower. Okay. Set this over by this other cleaner. Then I think I'm going to paint it and I'm going to go in for dinner. Let's see. Both bushings are laying there. Okay, perfect. I had to look, see where those bushings were, and make sure that they're there yet. It's dry yet. Oh, that's it. Dries up. And I've got to give it a minute. I can roll up some other stuff here and clean up some of this mess. All right, let's paint that. I should have maybe taped up the. Yeah, I should have taped this area up maybe, but can't see nothing anyway. Yeah. Here, now it's got a coat of paint on it. Good enough for me. We could actually start doing some assembly on it, couldn't we? Might as well start doing some. I'll take it down here in a minute here. You know? Okay, so let's take it down because we can grab it by the non-painted side. Okay. Put it down here. Okay. Then we gotta grab a nylock and a, well, it's nylock, I guess that's all we need, a 5/16 by 18 nylock. Okay, just like that. Yeah. Come on now. You'll go through there, I know you will. There you go. Let's see, is that bolt gonna be too long? Nah, that shouldn't be too long. I can turn the wheels back, I suppose. There we go. That way we can use the wrenches. Obviously, always the wrong way. Bolt could have been made one size shorter, but oh well. This is the grade 8 bolt that I got, so. Okay. Okay. And then this piece can go back on. So we got our shim washers on there. We have to, oh, we're going to grease these up too a little bit, weren't we? Beautiful. That was nice to do right in front of the camera, wasn't it? Oh, okay. Let's just get some wheel bearing grease on there, maybe. If I got some handy. Okay, so we got that tight. Let's put some grease on this bushing here. So that don't wear away. I'll put some on this bushing as well. There. Then we gotta remember that old tilt that goes down. Well, that was wrong. Where I put it. Supposed to put it on the shaft. The hell am I doing, huh? Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Made a mess of things there, but yeah, make sure that's down. Once we get this into place, then we'll. Okay. That should work. Let's clean this grease off our hands right away so we don't carry it all over the place. There's nothing else that we need to grease up, so. Let's see, do I have a rag in here, maybe? And there we go. All it takes. Okay. Then we can tighten those four down. Oh, that's right. We got that circlip to put on there yet, don't we? I just remembered that. That circlip probably don't need to go back on there because since now it's fixed, you know, it's in a fixed position. But if I can put it on there, we'll tighten these down and see what we got. If I can drill that on there, we're going to do it. So it's practically the way it was. This little It just won't have tilt no more. Who needs tilt, right? It's like, who would want to mow with a can of pop or a beer in here? Because, God, it'd be full of everything, wouldn't it? Or am I wrong? Okay, then that, I believe, was 7/16. Oh, tighten up now. What the heck is going on there? That far off? Another problem, huh? Well, let's see what it is. What the heck is going on here? Oh, my back. It's at that wrong angle. I gotta check this out and see what's going on here. I got that thing damn near perfectly straight, I think. Oh. Well, that ain't gonna come up because of my nuts. My nuts are too low. Sounds like a personal problem there. Oh my God, my back. Has to hold that 80-pound sack of fat that's in front of my belly there. Oh no, why won't that go in there? Okay, I'll take you off again. Damn it. I gotta take it all the way off and then I gotta lose everything, I suppose. Okay, yeah, nothing. I don't know what the heck was going on there. Okay, now we need one. Okay. I have to tip this thing over to get all the nuts out of there. There's 4, okay. Why wouldn't that go on before? That's weird. Maybe that is not shimmed enough. I don't know. I don't know. I bet I gotta go another washer yet on there, don't I? Yeah, we're back. There, it's shot for the rest of the day, right there. I got grease all over my hands again, so let's get that out. Or drag it all over again. Okay, there's that. I got a funny feeling I gotta shim that up more. God, I don't know. It's hard to see, guys. It's hard to see. We're pushing that up. Tighten that one up. Tighten that one up. Tighten that one up. Tighten that one up. Okay. See if that bushing rides itself up again. There's the. I think we're going to keep that circlip out of there. We'll put the bushings in there. Because quite honestly, I really don't know if I need them. Need that circlip now because it's in a fixed position. You see what I'm saying? Oh no, I need grease for that. Do we have any extra here? The wave ring and this ring. Well, time to get the grease out. We need more grease. Thought we were done. And we're going to keep the circlip out. That's what we're going to do. I don't think we need that, guys. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Because the circlip was to support this from falling down. Well, it's not going to fall down now. Right? Make a great engineer, wouldn't I? Yeah, right. Okay. Now what? Let's get this grease off our fingers again. I gotta go further than that. I gotta get more of that off of there. Anyway, let's see if the conversion is successful or if I gotta shim that up high. I don't think I gotta shim that up any higher. I think that's good right where it is, according to what I'm seeing anyway. We're gonna put the steering wheel on it just to try it, and then we gotta take it back off. Okay, so well, what the? Oh, you know what I gotta do? Oh, I might be in trouble here. The console's gotta go on first before that does. That's why I gotta shim it. Your console's gotta go on before that piece does. Okay, I gotta go have dinner. This is gonna be part one. This is part one, guys, of the you know what I gotta do? I gotta pull that back off on the next video. Pull those 4 bolts out, and then I gotta put the console on. Then the console's the ham and the ham sandwich. That's the reason why I gotta shim that up. Because the console goes between there. If I look, here, let's do this. Because if I look at the console over here, I forgot about this. You can see the marks there. That's where it was mounted. Shoot. Okay, well, we know now, don't we? So anyway, we got, now we got to pull that off again. So the console is the ham and the ham sandwich between here. That's why I put those washers in there, thinking I needed to shim that. But I don't have to shim that. I got to put the console on next. Then I can put this piece back on. So, okay, we'll do that in the next video. So this is video 1 of 2. So, please like and subscribe, guys. It's the conversion, but you can see now what I did here. You know? So there won't be no more tilt now, but this will still support everything and so forth. Okay, look for the next video. I'm going to go and have dinner, and then after dinner I'll come out and video number 2. So, and we'll get rid of that part that they don't make anymore for this thing. We'll talk to you later. Please like and subscribe, guys, if you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.